So thank you for that. I also like to talk about the new government's statements recently about the approach to making Sri Lanka or seeing a significant transformation in science and technology and the emphasis on research. The President himself said a significant leap in the field of scientific research is necessary, and digitalization and building a digital economy. I'd like to talk about these areas, especially with you, Dr. Wijay. Yes, government after government, they have spoken about research, the allocation of budgetary allocations for research and development, which is significantly low in Sri Lanka. But what would your approach be? Is it research or is it investment into certain areas of importance?
So you're asking a complicated question, but I will have to answer it halfway now and halfway later. So the Sri Lanka, one of the things I suggest is branding. You have to brand the country. So if you go to London, get off the airport, go to a coffee shop, you're having your coffee, somebody says, oh, where are you from? And you say, I'm from Sri Lanka. And the Englishman would say, oh, they have great tea. We have branded ourselves in tea. Now you took the next step, you went to Europe somewhere, you're back again in that some coffee shop, somebody asks, where are you from? And you say, I'm from Sri Lanka. Oh, what a beautiful country. You have great beaches, beautiful mountains, and waterfalls. One of the most beautiful islands in the world. We have branded ourselves as a tourist destination. This is great that we have done that. It's incredible that we are very well known for our tea, for our beauty. But we had to go beyond that. We had to brand ourselves as a leader in some sort of technology. Okay.
What do you suggest?
Okay.
From tea to
yeah, let me give some examples, okay? Now, we have a huge IT industry. What we do in this IT industry is we serve some companies in the world. We basically write code and sell the problem, and then we just make some little bit of money, which is great. It brings dollars to the country. That's great. But what we need to do is not serve Google, but become Google. So instead of serving Google by doing this coding, let's become Google.
Are you saying develop new apps and
new things that had not been done? Think of Uber. 10, 15 years ago, I don't remember the exact date, there was no Uber. Okay, and somebody wants to go from here to there, and there's some guy with a car here. The Uber put this passenger and the driver together. Look what impact that Uber has in the rest of the world. When I'm here, I use Uber. When I'm in China, I use Uber. In the United States, of course, I drive my own car. But that concept of Uber changed the world, right? You have to come up with a concept that can change the world. Let's say you develop a system of using artificial intelligence where you can find where the fish is in the ocean. You develop this tool, you use various satellites or whatever, and you know exactly where the fish are. You develop this technology, then you can sell it to Japan, you can sell it to China. So you can sell this technology, right? And we branded ourselves as the country that developed the Uber for fish.
So what you're also saying, Dr. Wijay, is that we can be the leader in selling information or precision information or of certain, whether it's the fish, whether it's environment, through high-tech AI and technological decision making, so that other countries can benefit and Sri Lanka millions.
Branding. We have to brand ourselves. Now, this is just an example, what I just gave, the fish example. Now, how do we do this? One of the most important things to do is the digitization of the economy. I came to Sri Lanka this month, in December. I was invited by the university SLICT as the keynote speaker because they had a conference on digitization of the economy. I gave 2 speeches there, one in the night at a dinner, and next day in a big audience about digitization of the economy. Okay? This is one of the things the government has already undertaken. This is something I fully stand behind, this government policy. By digitization of the economy, the country that has really done well is China. No other country has come to the level of China when it comes to this. You buy a cup of coffee, you use WeChat. You go buy a bus ticket, you use a WeChat. You buy a train ticket, you using WeChat. So it's very well digitized. If we are able to buy a cup of coffee using app, let's call it Lanka Chat, okay, not WeChat, Lanka Chat, and you buy your bus ticket. So when you get into the bus, you have to pull your cash out, you know. So if you do that, for every transaction that happens, approximately 200 to 300 rupee transaction, you take a 1 rupee out of it. And you take that 1 rupee into a fund. You will earn about 1 billion rupees a month if you take this 1 rupee. Now, depending on how much the transaction is, if it is a 2 rupee transaction, you don't want to take a 1 rupee out. You take a small amount out, maybe 10 cents out. It's a 100 rupee transaction, 1,000 rupee transaction, you may make 2 rupees out. But when you take that out, you put it into a fund, not by the government. Let the fund go to a private fund manager. Let him put the fund in the stock market. So other people can now invest more money into this fund, and you trade the fund. Now we use this fund to support the startup scene. So there are, as I am here, I have met so many startups, some very credible startups, but they have no money. So but this fund can fund these startups, okay? Out of 100 startups, maybe 80 of them will fail, but that's okay. That is the number that we have in the United States also. Not every startup is successful. They fail. But the 10 startups that are successful will bring income to support the fund. And the fund is in the stock market. It can pay dividends. So people who invested money, including the 1 rupee that we took out, they will also get dividends on it. Right. The private people who invested will also get dividends on it. So with this fund will grow by itself. Mm-hmm. At the same time, it's funding the startups. Of these startups, of the 100, the 10 that will succeed have to be the ones that put Sri Lanka on the map in the world, branding. So you only fund these ideas that will brand Sri Lanka as a nation that is known for particular thing, like tea, like tourism, like artificial intelligence, like medical devices, a treatment for cancer based on Ayurvedic medicine. So it doesn't matter what it is, but so long as we are the best in the world and we are the branded country for that particular purpose.
You mentioned, while you mentioned how Sri Lanka should look at branding, you mentioned treatment for cancer using Ayurveda or pharmaceutical or even medical services in Sri Lanka, that Sri Lanka could be the leader for all these services. Is that possible? The
fund that I'm talking about, billion rupees a month, okay, plus the other investment coming in, we can go and near the airport, we can build a 1,000-bed modern hospital, okay, and we employ some of the best doctors there. And the doctors that we cannot find in Sri Lanka, we can bring them from India, from Pakistan, from the United States and other countries, good doctors. And we say, you can come here and get a bypass surgery for $5,000. You can come here and get your stent for $3,000. You can come here and get your kidney transplant for $2,000. So we start branding ourselves. There will be medical tourism. But in order to have medical tourism, you have to have a high quality hospital. talented doctors, right? But you need money to do that. That money comes from the digitization of the economy. You take a rupee out of that. For every transaction, you take a rupee out and create a fund that will support this kind of thing, medical.